On a cold February morning in 1912, Parisians gathered around the Eiffel Tower, wrapped in heavy coats and scarves, intrigued by the spectacle about to unfold. A man named Franz Reichelt, an Austrian-born tailor living in France, had promised them a daring feat, a leap from the Eiffel Tower. But this wouldn't be an ordinary jump. Reichelt claimed he had invented a revolutionary parachute suit that would allow him to glide safely to the ground, marking a turning point in aviation history. Known as the Flying Tailor, he was certain his invention would change the world of flight forever. Reichelt had designed and tested his parachute suit for years, painstakingly stitching together materials that he believed would catch the wind and slow his descent. His design resembled a jumpsuit with a large cape-like fabric attached, which he imagined would fan out in the air and work as a parachute. He had even tested it on dummies from lower heights. Unfortunately, most of these attempts ended with his dummies crashing to the ground. Yet Reichelt remained undeterred, insisting that with enough height and his own skill, he could prove his suit's success. After persuading authorities to let him conduct his historic jump from the Eiffel Tower, Reichelt was granted permission. His original plan had been to use a dummy once more, but onlookers and the press were shocked when he announced he'd be testing it himself. As the crowd buzzed with anticipation, some even pleading with him to reconsider, Reichelt was resolute. He had unwavering faith in his invention, convinced that his device could be humanity's key to mastering controlled flight. At around 8 a.m., Reichelt made his way up the narrow metal stairways to the first platform of the Eiffel Tower, 187 feet above the ground. Cameramen were in place, ready to capture the spectacle for posterity, and below, a crowd of onlookers, holding their breath, watched him step forward. Standing on the edge, Reichelt peered over the side, gazing at the drop below. For a moment, there was silence as he composed himself. The world held its breath as Reichelt extended his arms, his parachute suit billowing slightly in the breeze. Then, with a sudden step, he leapt from the platform. For a split second, it seemed as if he might defy gravity. The fabric of his suit extended outward, catching the air, but only for a moment. With a sharp snap, the material collapsed inward, failing to form the structure needed to slow his fall. Franz Reichelt plummeted straight down, his invention proving fatally ineffective. In seconds, the crowd's gasps of hope turned to horror as Reichelt struck the ground. The aftermath was grim. The onlookers were stunned, silent in the cold morning air, coming to terms with what they had witnessed. Reichelt's tragic fate was reported in newspapers worldwide, and the footage of his jump became one of the first incidents of a filmed death, adding an eerie and haunting quality to his story. While his parachute suit failed spectacularly, his death highlighted the dangerous allure of early aviation and the risks pioneers were willing to take in pursuit of progress. In the wake of his death, Reichelt was both mourned and criticized. Some called him foolish for attempting such a dangerous feat without more thorough testing. Others saw him as a brave visionary, willing to give his life for the sake of human advancement. Either way, Reichelt's attempt had drawn attention to the burgeoning field of aviation safety, spurring other inventors and engineers to develop more reliable methods for emergency descents. His ill-fated jump became an iconic moment in the history of aviation, symbolizing both the heights of human ambition and the perils of unchecked enthusiasm. Today, Franz Reichelt's legacy remains both cautionary and inspirational. His story endures as one of the Eiffel Tower's most infamous events, a moment when one man's dreams collided with the harsh reality of gravity. His daring jump, fueled by conviction and creativity, serves as a reminder of the incredible drive that led to human flight, as well as the bravery required to pursue innovation, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. The Eiffel Tower itself, which stood silently through his ascent and his fall, remains a witness to Reichelt's sacrifice and the boundless spirit of those who dare to dream.